Hi, my name is Diane, but you can just call me D. I just woke up. I am really excited to be filming this video because I ordered a book that's been talked about so much lately. It's a fantasy romance book. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Well, obviously, because I put it in the title and the thumbnail, but I'm super excited for it. So I have it right here. I'm gonna be opening it on camera and then I'm gonna start reading it. I did actually, I think, download a sample of it where I read the prologue and the first chapter, I believe, just to make sure that the writing style was okay with me and that would, you know, it would be worth spending money on it. You know, I've bought books before where the writing style really is not something I enjoy, and I end up spending like $40 on a book and then I feel compelled to read it. But anyway, I read that and I did enjoy it. Here it is. Let's open it. Ooh. I bought the paperback version just because I wasn't sure how the hardback version was looking, plus it was really expensive. Ta-da! So this is the Serpent and the Wings of Night. Yes, I think this title a lot of people have mentioned. Not ideal, but oh, it's a little bit bent. Ooh, it has like, okay, so it has really tiny font. It has a bit of a yellow tint, but it has really pretty chapter pages. That's pretty, I like it. I love self-published books because authors put so much into it, like little designs and things like that, and I love supporting authors as well. This is a duology. The second book is out, so if I like it I can order the second book and get on with it. This is by Carissa Broadbent. This is the story of vampires. The main character was rescued when she was little by the king of the vampires, and as she grew up she had to protect herself and learn how to fight and all that. I think there is like a tournament or something that she is going to participate in. I haven't gone that far into it, but yeah, I'm really excited to start reading it. I've heard that it's a slow burn romance. I don't know, people are really loving it. The writing is good, honestly. I'm really excited to start it or like continue it and see where it goes, really get into it and see if I enjoy it as much as everyone else, hopefully. So I'm back for an update. I just finished the first part, which is only about 40 pages, and I'm gonna start Full Moon, which is part 2. First part was called Dusk. So I just wanted to come here and do a little quick check, see where things are at. I'm enjoying it. So far it's quite slow to read. I think the writing is good, but maybe a bit too much description for my liking. But I think once I get really into it and the action starts, I think I'll be reading a bit faster. The only complaint is that this book is really coming apart. I don't know if you can see. Pages are sticking out, they're not like holding anymore here, and this is, you know, it happens. It is a bit disappointing, but I'm not gonna return it. It just keeps on messing up. I'm hoping that once I get through a big chunk of it, the pages are not gonna tear anymore on their own. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So far, nothing too crazy has happened. We are basically at the end of the first part. She's just begun the trial or the competition. I really don't know what's gonna happen. Really, there wasn't much to it, but I think it was a good beginning still. So I'm back to talk a little bit more about this. I haven't been updating as much as I wanted to, but I just didn't get the time. It's not that I kept on reading so much that I didn't have the time to update, it's that I had so much to do work-wise and all that I didn't have the time to turn on the camera and update you. But I'm here, so I think the last time I updated you I was at like 50-ish pages. Right now I'm at 304 pages, so I did read quite a lot more, but to be frank, it's not like a lot more happened. Our main character is now fully into the trial. and that's been interesting to see. And we also are developing the relationship a little bit more, so that's interesting. But this is a very slow burn in every part. Even though there is a lot of action, I don't think there's a lot happening when you list points of the plot. There's a second book and I can see where the story is going. I do enjoy the writing, the atmosphere, the banter. In terms of the writing though, I do have to say that sometimes, even though it's one of the best self-published writing I've read, it's sometimes a little bit annoying. Sometimes things don't really make sense and it's a lot of suspending your disbelief on some things. I mean, she's a human fighting in a trial full of vampires and she's still alive. I don't know. Other than that, I think I see where the story is going. I do enjoy the little things that the author is dropping here and there, and those might be hints. And in terms of the relationship, it's probably what's kept me going this whole time. The banter is very good. I do enjoy the male interest in here. I think he is a bit different than other male interests I've read in the past in that kind of setting. I do like someone who talks a bit more, so that's nice. And yeah, the banter is good. I think honestly the main character is the person I maybe like the least. She's not that interesting. I don't think there's like anything super new and fresh. Hopefully we're gonna see more growth from her, but definitely the banter is great. And it's a very slow romance. It's barely starting and I'm over halfway through the book, so that's good. I like that. I'm really glad I picked it up. It's definitely a book for me. The writing is good, the plot is interesting, the romance, the banter, I really like it. I'm curious to see where it is going and to see if my predictions are right, but I'll update you. I think I have 2 more parts left, so I might update you before the last part or at the end, we'll see. But so far so good. I'm here to update you. I've read a bit more. I'm on page 380. We passed the new moon part. The story is taking a turn. I was expecting something like that to happen, but I just don't know how I feel about it just yet. I need to read a bit more and see what the characters are gonna do and how they're gonna behave. It's something that I'm really hoping is done how I like it, but I mean, how presumptuous is that? I just don't really like sometimes when things are a complete 180 and it's really not realistic. Not that this is all realistic at all, but just in terms of like feelings and who you are and emotions and how the characters are talked about and described. When there's a 180 in situations, sometimes it can feel like it came out of nowhere, and I really hope that doesn't happen, because I think there are explanations that can be given and I think we can do both. So I'm excited, I'm worried, we'll see where that goes. I do want to say for the writing, I know I've said that I do like the writing and I still do. I realize what I don't enjoy about it. It's a lot of repetitions and telling you things that you already are assuming by the writing. So it's almost like the character has to think exactly what the author meant, even though you understood it by the dialogue or by the situation or by the fact that this person sighed or blinked or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's over-explained, like I'm doing right now. Also, the use of profanity and swearing in romance fantasy is so rampant, and I don't know why. I think it takes me too much out of the story when there's so many fuck and tits and stuff like that, and like swearing to the gods. It really takes me out. And it's not like in The Witcher, that occasional fuck, like really profound, that it really sets the tone of what is happening and like, yes, this makes sense. That's the exact appropriate word to use, and there's literally no other word you need. In here and in a lot of other romance that are fantasy-like, I've noticed that those words are used too much, and they lose their meanings, they lose their sense, they lose their point, they lose the strength of what they're trying to portray, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So excited to be finishing this book though. Hopefully I can finish this pretty soon. So I'm back to update you. I'm not quite done. I have like 10 pages left, but I wanted to update you before the big ending happens. We had that change of event that honestly, that's what I thought was gonna happen, and I'm glad that it did. I'm interested to see how we're gonna come out of it. I do have to say that the romance was really slow burn and I did enjoy it, and then it went so full on. It was just too fast, you know. That's something that I struggle with for romance, is when the slow burn is good, but then all of a sudden it's like, I'm ready to die for you and I love you and all those things. And I miss this in between where you kind of understand now that you both are into it and you're kind of playing with that. I miss that. That's something that I wish authors would do a bit more, and not leave it until the end of the story. Even though you know where the relationship is gonna go, it still is so intense compared to what you've been reading and how slow things were going. You know what I'm saying? So I wish things were a little bit, just, you know, give it some time, have a bit more moments with the characters, see this grow a little bit more rather than that. That's something I didn't like. Plus I don't know that I love how the romance at the end was done. I think it was a bit cheesy. I don't know that I loved everything, like in terms of like the twists and turns. Sometimes it was even a bit cringe for me. I'm not sure if I would want to continue. I might just go ahead and buy the second book to have it just in case the ending is really good. We'll see. But I feel like we liked some character growth, and the main character was not why I was continuing reading. I don't think she really has evolved yet, and I think it's because we're missing those passages where we can learn a bit more. I feel like also at the end it's like a big dump of all those reveals, and even though I kind of knew where this was going, this is a huge book. Like I wish we had more reveals, more things happening rather than just action that is just like there for the sake of action. So we're back, feeling fresh, took a shower, I had a nice lay down in the sun after work, took a shower, and then I'm gonna make dinner and just chill. But I wanted to come back and tell you that I finished. I have a hard time feeling like I want to continue reading the series. I was really into it for pretty much all of the book. Like I enjoyed it, I enjoyed where it was going. I never questioned that I was gonna buy the second book and continue. Mind you, this is just a duology. But by the time like the last trial happened and all the twists and the ending, I just like didn't really mesh with how that happened. And I don't, not that it was bad or anything. I mean maybe some people have stronger opinions, but the thing with me is that I don't really have much of an opinion. I don't hate the book, but I don't love it. Like I'm not giggling. I don't know, it's very strange. I'm kind of sad because there was such a big hype on this book and I really thought it was gonna be for me. Honestly, like throughout a huge chunk of this book, I was like, yeah, that's for sure gonna be for me. I'm just waiting on something. And that never really happened. Like I said, the pacing of the romance was a bit off for me. Now where we are at, I don't know that I believe it, if that makes any sense. I think maybe the main character is getting on my nerves a little bit, just because for someone who's supposed to be super smart, I don't really think she is, and I think I don't really like how she's written, and that's probably why I'm not that enthralled to continuing the series, even though I do like the romantic interest. But other than that, I'm not super interested in the world. I'm not really interested in side characters. And like I said, honestly, like, even though it feels like a lot happened with the trials, honestly, not that much happened, and all the political things just happened at the end, and I just felt like, we could have had more insight. Those are my thoughts on the book. I'm still glad I read it. I think it's a good book. I think it's well written. I'm probably gonna check out other books from the author. I'm still on the fence if I'm gonna continue with the series, maybe later. I don't feel like there's so much that I'm gonna forget. Like, I feel like the plot is so simple in the end that I'm not gonna really forget anything. And if I do, I think it'll be pretty easy to hop back on. So we'll see if I pick up the second book. I'm definitely gonna look more into what she's written. I know she said that there is gonna be 5 books in the universe. I don't know if I would pick up any of those because I don't think the world is that interesting, but maybe the other books have more world development and maybe something is a bit different. Have you read this book? I mean, it seems like everybody has. I really hope that if you read this book you enjoyed it, and if you haven't, maybe you're interested in picking it up. Let me know everything in the comments below. What other books have you read that were really hyped and how did you feel about them? I tend to not enjoy hyped books as much unless I really try to hear both sides and see if I'm gonna like it or not, and then adjust my expectations. That happened with Gigi Clune's book, The House in the Syrian Sea, where it was so popular. I really wasn't sure that I was gonna like it, but then I heard different people talking about it, and then I had expectations that I think were a bit more realistic. And so I think that's also with that, if you want to go into this book, make sure that you look into it a little bit more and you set your expectations to a realistic standard, because oftentimes when we hype books, it's just because we love them, so we don't see anything wrong about them, or if we do, like, we don't really care. But it's super important also to know that we all have different tastes, and so it's not because a lot of people are hyping a book that it means that this is the perfect book and everybody's gonna like it. Anyway, I don't know why I went on such a tangent, but here we are. Thank you so much for watching. I really truly appreciate it. I enjoy making those videos and I hope I can make more videos like this. Also, if you enjoy gaming, check out my other channel for my live streamings where I stream games that I like to play. Right now I'm doing The Witcher 2 so I can get to The Witcher 3. So I'm super excited. I'll leave all the information down below as well. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.